I'm gonna be straight up with you. The art in this video is very bad, which, you know, normally is not a good thing for an art video on an art channel. But in my defense, and not to discredit myself as an artist forever, this was all recorded 5 months ago, back in November. Wait, no, that was 6 months ago. I can math, I swear. No, I can't. I'm gay. This was around the time I recently picked up digital art again, because I got a digital art tablet, and these were literally some of the first drawings I made. I was inspired by Popcrossstudios, and I tried to replicate his shading style, and also a little bit of his rendering style mixed with how I used to do it when I was still shit at art. Like, look at this old stuff versus stuff I do now. The art in this video is trash, but art block has been kicking my ass, and I've not been able to actually make new content for the channel. So I thought, why not bring back this old content that was just in the backlog for so long, and not only do a fun challenge during Pokemon and into SCPs, which are two of my favorite things, and like I'm kind of going down the art channel route of turning one thing into another thing just so people click for the franchise. But I thought it'd also be nice to use this video as a sort of like art critique of my old art and see what aspects I've improved and what aspects I still struggle on. And also just because past me deserves to feel ashamed for this. Okay, that one was partially a joke, but the other stuff I still stand by. Anyways, if my analytics tell me anything, you guys don't like this rambling beginning intro part of the video, so I'm just gonna go straight to the speed paints and not dilly-dally any longer. Let's go! Okay, this isn't scripted, it's bullet points, so if I sound like I'm making it up, I am. But we're gonna be starting with Sableye, which is one of my favorite of these drawings. It's not the first one I did. I'm not showing these in order of drawing, more just a random order that I think would be nice. There's a reason I use this in the thumbnail, because I love how it turned out. Like, you'll see that it has very much an ugly phase. It's kind of just in the first sketch. I tend to do 2 sketches, a rough layout and an anatomy sketch, which I still do, just normally I have a much cleaner anatomy sketch now. But like, you'll see when there's a slight jump, where I had a bit of a corrupted recording that I couldn't fit in, that like the anatomy gets a lot better real soon. That's partially because like I made the head smaller. It originally looked like a weird bobbly head thing. I don't know why, but I put a lot of detail in his ear, which I don't like now. Like, it looks so bad. I also had a lot of fun coloring this one, because like, of course I just mostly did the eyedropper from Sableye, but like the gems you'll see, I'm not sure if it's happening now or in a little bit, like I use a bunch of like filter effects and different layering types to try and get them like a nice pastel green, blue, and red that are also supposed to be like rubies, sapphires, and emeralds, because like that's the game this appeared in. You get it. I also, something you'll notice me, and I'll probably talk about other drawings too, I took this kind of rendering bit from Popcrossstudios, the person who inspired this challenge 5 months ago. But he uses a lot of gradients on his flat colors to not only add texture to the piece, but also it kind of just helps with shading. You also notice I did the little circle thing with the colors, because this was just me trying to copy his style. New as I was to it, and this was only my 3rd attempt doing it, technically this is the 2nd drawing, but like you'll understand why in the next one. My 3rd attempt trying this style of rendering, it's not bad. Like, it's not good. I definitely was just very loose, messy with it, which like I don't like in my art. Like, it works for other people. For me, I like very clean and precise things. Like, I don't use a lot of textured line art brushes because I like it to be clean and smooth, and like I like that to play with my shading as well. And then honestly, I just kind of drew a semi-realistic Sableye. I didn't really add many like extra paranormal bits to it. It's just kind of Sableye, but more detail and a little creepier. I mean, Sableye's also really creepy just in general. But yeah, that's all I really have to say. The speed paint should be getting over now soon, so let's go. And there might be a few more minutes of silence before the speed paint's over, so I'm just filling up noise. The next one, I have mixed feelings about, but not in the way with Sableye. I will straight up say I hate this one, mostly because, like, it's better than my first attempt. I did this one twice. These drawings took total 16 hours, about 3 hours each, or 4 hours each, I can math, I swear. And I had a first attempt of this, which was the first drawing I ever did on the drawing tablet, and, like, don't do some practice drawings if you get a new drawing tablet. It helps a lot, but, like, you'll see this is an improvement from that, but just so much wrong with this, and I want to redo it soon. just to improve it. Like, the concept is there. The concept was like this strange eye that controls seaweed, and like that's the SCP. I also realized I originally planned on writing lore for these, but as you know, I don't do scripts very well, and so I'm just talking about the art and not any kind of lore with the SCP. This is more just a visual, and that like the eye controlling seaweed would like pick up bits of shipwrecks that have happened, and that's how this specific one happened to create that looks a lot like the Pokemon Delmise. Oh, pretty neat. But while the concept's there, the execution just is eh. Like the line weight on the anchor bit that's not supposed to be like full anchor, but more like just the bottom of it that kind of like broke off or something. And the wheel are like very thick, and like it makes sense for those because like they're like sturdy and what's the word I'm thinking of? Non-organic. They're like made to look sturdy and like they'd be part of a ship from like ancient times or something. And while the seaweed, like in the middle bits, I don't mind the line art being thinner. I should have thickened it up where it was like grabbing onto stuff, because that would have made it seem like it has weight and it's like actually pulling. It just kind of looks weightless, which I guess kind of could apply if it's like in the water. Like that's my main critique with this. Just a lot of the gradients didn't turn out very well. There's so many individual small spots, and I tried to like separate it so not everything had the same gradient. Things were like splendid a little. It didn't work. I also, you'll notice an ugly gradient on the actual anchor. I got rid of that because it just looked ugly. The lighting on this, I don't actually mind though. Like it still kind of has a problem like the Sableye, which I don't remember mentioning. So I'll just mention it now, that they all kind of have inconsistent lighting, where it's like, oh yeah, you know the general direction it's coming from, but like a direct light source doesn't really make sense. There's a lot of places like, hey, that shouldn't have a highlight, that should have a shadow. But this one, just all the small highlights around it and like the highlighting on the anchor specifically, I really liked it. Just felt like it added texture, which I think the fact that I added a lot more small details helped with that. And also the fact that I knew at least where I wanted the light source to be coming from, even if I didn't execute it properly. I wanted the eye to give a glow effect, which you'll see me add like at the very end. So not yet. And it actually doesn't look very bad. Like I exported it as a PNG and it looks really fucking nice. And like choosing the orange light and then deciding to do the orange glow effect just really like pulled it all together. Like even though it's my least favorite, it does have qualities I do like. I also actually do the rim lighting that like Popcross does on Shadows. That's all I have to say. On to the drawing. Yeah, there might be a few more minutes of silence just to finish the drawing. So I'm filling that up. Let's go. By the way, you've made it about 2/3 through the video right now. You know, if you're liking what you see, you could subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I'm trying to grow my channel to get at least to 1K so I can use the community tab to just share my art. And also, if you like any of the art in this video, I do commissions. I don't have a good way of contacting because I haven't set a business email yet because I just am lazy, in all honesty. But if you click the link down below and join my Discord, just feel free to DM me and be like, hey, I like your art. Can I get a commission? And then I'll be like, yeah or nah, depending on if it's a yay or nay, you know? Anyways, back to the video. This might sound like I'm exhausted because I was just speaking for 4 minutes without recording. Sorry about that. But for the third one, I decided to choose Mew because like I had a cute idea of in the like lore reading it being like, oh yeah, we can't contain this, it's too powerful. And it's like the origin of all the SCP-Ps, which is like what I was gonna do to copy Popcrossstudios. I should honestly this should just be promo for Popcrossstudios considering I mentioned him like 6 times. Ignore the fact he gets like thousands of views and I get like 12. But yeah, Mew was basically the perfect Pokemon turned SCP, especially because you'll see I go to its old design for a lot of the inspiration later in the recording. I'm not sure if we're there yet, so I'm just gonna stall for time. You know, it has like that fetus baby cat vibes, like, which, you know, it still has, but it's less cute and more just, you're so ugly, but I want to hold you so gently, pet, pet. And like that was the vibe I was going for. Something so cute and yet still disgusting. I also like threw as much Bingus cat energy as I could in it, like with the eye shape and the ears, and a nice compositional thing that I just noticed while looking at the recording while I'm recording this. Like I'm watching the speed paints as I record the video. I did a nice compositional thing of like having the tail circle back to the foot, so it kind of makes like not a perfect circle, but just like a circle encircling the Mew, which helps like focus on the face just a little bit. Also making the eyes bright blue, like in the new design, really helps it pop out from the pink. That's more of like a, fuck yeah, you go Ken Sugimori with your color choices. And while I'm not the proudest of the anatomy, it just looks like a weird fucking cat, and like there are some nice shapes, there are also some bad shapes. It's just a mixed bag. The shading, I am still very proud of. Like looking at this, like you'll see how I see it when I'm drawing, because there's this bit where like zooms in. That's because I was recording on the wrong canvas. I have a drawing canvas and a recording canvas, and I was drawing on the recording canvas, so that was my bad. But like, I like getting in real close to the details and just shade, and just like erase and draw lines over and over. That's how I like to do shading, because it's making it look nice, pretty, and clean. As well as this one, I don't think I went area by area to shade, like shade this one with all the highlights and stuff, and then move here, shade the shading, highlights, move to a different area. I did what I normally do of flats. Oops, sorry, I hit the mic. I did what I normally do of flats, shading layer. This one I did do 2 shading layers. Normally I only do 1. Highlight layer, and then rim light. Like I did each layer individually, which is how I prefer to do it, and how I think I'm gonna do it from now on. Anyways, we're probably ending the end of the speed paint now, so we're just gonna get going. Stalling time until it's over, if it's not over yet, and it's over now, let's go. Yeah, this was something. It was weird looking back on old art speed paints, especially because how much I've improved now as an artist versus how weird it was then getting used to the drawing tablet and like trying a style I'd never tried before. Like if I tried just the way I'd done digital art in the past, then I'm sure these would have turned out better, but like it's also not bad to experiment. I will say that. Like, while each of these I do look back like most artists at old art and be like, ew, cringe, there are aspects of it that I can be like, oh hey, that really did help me improve, or I'm glad I've stopped doing that now in my art. And while a lot of this was kind of improv and bullet points, I hope you learned something too, or at least enjoyed me ranting about my art process. This wasn't even an art process, it was more just critiquing my art. Should I just call this in the thumbnail art critique? I think I'm gonna do that, because I don't know what else this was. Just had serious art block and was having trouble making videos past few weeks, which is why there's not been an upload, and the last upload was more of a rant than anything. Which, like, speaking of, thank you guys so much for, like, such the positive reception that video got. Like, I know my Warframe is Pokemon video only did as well as it did because Cool Kid gave me a shout out, which, like, thank you, I appreciate it, dude. Wish 2 will be coming out soon. He's been pestering me in my DMs about that since that video came out. But like, even the Sissant video has done really well, and I know for a fact he didn't shout that out unless he did it secretly or some shit. But yeah, hopefully this video is just as well received. I guess it's something new, not just someone talking about art process, but like just talking to the void about old drawings. I don't know how to end this. I'm waffling. So I'm gonna stop waffling, record the outro now. I just want you to know that I appreciate your existence. Please keep on existing. May we have a good existence. Bye! Bye, hug! What's this? The secret outro? The secret outro where, I just kind of talk to the void and give like 20 seconds for the little title cards to appear. But yeah, if you enjoyed, subscribe, and yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!